let's quickly move to module 2 or flashback the past 2 months. So if you can recall, if you have attended the last workshop, I think we have also together forecast for the 2 month, right? What could happen in December and January. Yeah. Okay. So let's quickly recap, flashback, and see what are those we forecasted came true and what are those that didn't came true. Okay. Can. So I think from last round workshop, we forecasted starting from this year, the Pi Gua here, the Ming Yi. Okay, just to refresh back how to read this table. This is the entire year for 2022, all the way to 3rd February. All right, the calendar starts from 4th February, Li Chun. Okay, so this is the 2022, 2022 last year one. And then this column here is the 60 day. Okay, 60 day. And therefore, this is the 10 day. Okay, this is the 10 day. Wrong. This is a 60 day. And let me clear off this one first. This is the 60 day energy. And here is the 10 day, 10 day, 10 day. That total, there are 6 10 day to form the 60 day. Okay, so right here, this is 1 10 day. Okay, this is 1 10 day. And then after that, we will move on to talk about the next 60 days. So this is just a flashback of the 2 months. So in fact, we are going to flashback more than 2 months. 2 months and 10 days. So we noted that last year, 2022, the grandparent energy was a Ji Ji Gua. Okay, was a Ji Ji Gua. And then Ji Ji Gua, we know that although it's called completion, I Ching is telling us completion means it's incomplete. So we can only go for small gains. Small gains means things will still come back because completion to incompletion is just next door to each other. And then this is what we see, 2022, even though COVID, everybody say it's going to be a new normal, yet we still see surge of COVID wave coming back again and again and again. So it's just like that, ding dong gua. Okay, right. So let's move on to talk about the 10 days of the Pi Gua here. Okay, here. So here on the left side, it shows the verse of this what do you call it? Ji Ji to the 60 day. Okay, so it's here. The verse relating to the Ji Ji versus the 60 days. Okay, so it's called Ji Ji to Ming Yi. Right? So Ji Ji to Ming Yi, that 60 day, what's the overarching energy? Is that the eastern neighbor slaughters an ox, but his sacrifice does not bring as full a blessing as the western neighbor. So there's a mention of eastern, western. Like I say, this is called Tui Li, inference. When there's a mention of eastern and western, meaning there could be a tension between the east and the west, or the north and the south. Basically means two parties, opposing parties. Right? So indeed, we saw the Russia, Ukraine, or the Russia versus the Western countries, namely US and the NATO countries, they are still at loggerhead, even up to today. Right? So even though the eastern neighbor, meaning the Russian, they give up certain territories, right, of Ukraine to pull back to the borders, the war still not ended yet. So therefore, the slaughter, the egg means giving up certain sacrifice, but it still did not get a full blessing yet. Okay, next, the overarching 60 days, looking at the bottom here, fish and turtle seeks the cake of bait, dying in the nets and fishing line. Greed was their downfall, and their death is their own fault. It seems to tell us that it's a crowd danger. Okay, crowd danger. So and therefore, if there's a crowd and then you still go and join in, be part of the crowd, then death is their own fault. Something like this. This is just a warning. Okay. Then we again do inferring. Inference meaning this is year end. So year end, usually there'll be a lot of year end parties here and there gathering. So therefore, if you want to go for those parties or gathering where big crowds expected, be careful. All right. So this is on high sides. Okay. Next, for the 10 days. Okay. For the 10 days, there is a verse called at first climbing to heaven and then entering the earth. Go up, then come down. So what can it means, right? It means market. Could it be market go up and come down? Or could it be really a space shuttle going up to the moon and then come down, or going to Mars or come down again? You know, who knows? Okay. And then the bottom here, I highlight means there are certain things that we should take note of. Huh? A great decline. Now, Chen Bao, there's a mention of Chen Bao. Chen Bao, according to some ancient texts, refers to Cai Shen Ye. That's why I think last round I talked about financial crisis, or because Chen Bao, this name came out, and therefore, if I do some inferring, it could mean the financial market. Huh? But in the end, it wasn't the really conventional financial market. It is the Bitcoin, okay, the cryptocurrency. So, so what it means here is that in the 60-day, we can still see a east-west tension, and then there could be death because of crowd danger. And then for the 10-day, if we go in one by one, which I will show you only the relevant ones later, there are some signs of flood, space activity, financial turmoil, and stepping down. So I know there could be a lot of information to digest. Sometimes you can't follow. Sometimes I can't follow myself too. So what I did was to make it into a pictorial, so for easier to refer to and to understand and to remember. Yeah. So how to read this pictorial thing is the 60-day, the overarching grandparent energy. Yeah, is there will be east-west tension and there will be crowd danger. Yeah. And then next is during the 10 days between 25th November to 4th December, there could be highly likely flood, space activities, financial turmoil, and people stepping down. Of course, if you say stepping down, there will be people stepping down all the time. People resign and things like that. But then for those Tom, Dick, Harry stepping down, it won't be reported on. But of course, if there is a high political figure stepping down, it should be reported and we can catch that very easily. And then we can verify against the day energy. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a flashback, look back and see what really happened or didn't happen at all. Look at the 60-day. We talk about tension and crowd danger. You see, World Cup riot in Brussels, right? And then a clash in Shanghai as COVID protests, So there's again the East-West clash, and then the crowd danger as well, right? Mary said, I think the week China stepped down on its restriction policy. Very good, very good. So later we'll take a look at that day that China finally relaxed on the restriction policy, and read the energy, read the day energy. Yeah, very good point, Mary. Thank you very much. Then how about the 10 days? We talk about space activities, right? The going up and then coming down, right? So therefore, you see, China launches crew mission to Tiangong Space Station. And then after that, on the 29th November, so you see it falls within this period. And then shortly after 4th December, the Chinese astronaut, the previous batch, came back to Earth. So go up, come down, all within this 25th, this 10 days, 25th to 4th December, within these 10 days. Pretty interesting, right? I mean, how Huang Jijing is able to write certain verse that can relate to real life activities. You call it coincidence. I leave it to you to make the conclusion. And then for 10 days, this FTX collapse, I know it didn't really occur within these 10 days. It occurs few days before. Okay, if I'm not wrong, based on my data, it occurs few days before this 10-day period in November still. Okay, so it's not the conventional financial market in turmoil, but it is the cryptocurrency market in turmoil. But it's still the same. All people get affected, and it's not talking about small money, it's really big money. Okay, so next. Also within these 10 days, someone really stepped down. Taiwan President Tsai Ing-wen resigned as head of ruling Democratic Progressive Party because the local election big loss to the party. So therefore, she has to step down. And it all occurred during the said 10 days. Okay. So let's look at certain individual days. I've already shown you the overarching energies. So now let's go in to the specific days. I won't be talking about all the 10 days. I will only pick up some of those more relevant ones, and I think they are not learning or worthy of some learnings and insights. Then I'll bring it up. Yeah. Okay. So on the Bo Kwa Day on the 26th November, Bo Kwa Day, on 26th November. Okay, on the left side, you always see is always the parent energy. Parent energy meaning is the B, okay, what do you call that? 名夷之比, okay, 名夷之比. On the right side is the day hexagram energy itself. So this is how I organize the information. So the parent energy is that for the 10 days, there will be going up and coming down and also a great decline or someone stepping down. But for that day energy, it says here, abandon the carriage and walk, okay? And then back into a corner of the eastern wall. That means someone really being pushed all the way to the corner, no choice, got to what? Lower himself. Okay, lower himself. That means probably to 认输 lah. In Chinese called 认输 lah. Okay, so look at that day, what happened. And 剥卦 is also meaning 剥卦, meaning left with one battery bar, and it's at the top 6 line. So therefore, in AOM, we learned that, whenever it comes to 剥卦, right, the correct way is always to preserve that yang. Okay, so preserve that yang. So this is what exactly Tsai Ing-wen did. Because of the local election losses, to protect the party, okay, and to ensure its survival, no choice, she has to step down, okay, so as to preserve that yang. Okay, so therefore, you look back at the energy, it says that back into a corner of the eastern wall, no choice, bo pian already, have to do this drastic step. Okay, then on the 27th, there's the trap of Yi and Jingzhou invade, meaning a clash, the east and the west clash. Okay, so what happened? East and west clash. And from the last workshop, there was a day when there's a full energy, and I think I mentioned about full in the AOM that if you spot any danger, okay, you turn as early as possible. Yeah, can you remember that? All right, so this is a day of, if you spot a danger, you U-turn as soon as you can. Okay, especially when you also see a corresponding verse like this, the tribe of the Yi and Jingzhou invades. So meaning there could be some tension somewhere, right? So let's see what happened that day. World Cup riot in Brussels after Morocco beat Belgium, right? So if you were there and you're one of the spectators, if you spot dangers, you should have U-turn as soon as you can. Next, in China, different part of the world, clashes in Shanghai as COVID-19 protests flare across China. So I think this is the peak of the protest, right, in Shanghai. And after that, I think China let go. Okay, finally decided to let go. Yeah. Okay, so on the first, 正卦. 正卦 in AOM, I mentioned it is something like a disaster. And then when the disaster strike on that day, your preparation, the window of preparation is over. It's gone. Okay, so that means if you're prepared enough, you can avert the crisis on this kind of day. All right, and then when we look at it, it says here, the verse says, with thunder comes fright and alarm. Wow, that means this is a day that you should be on high alert. And next, at the bottom here, the wild ducks get into the rice paddy. Can't really fathom what this is, but it seems like something get dropped into the wild ducks get into the rice paddy and then just swimming in the rice paddy. What could that mean? All right, so we can only wait for actual event to take place, then we relate back and see, hey, what really happened. So, okay, regarding the crisis or the disasters, let's see whether anything happened on that day or not. 1st December, okay, a spate of letter bomb in Spain targets embassy high profile official. Okay, on that day, okay, the bomb disposal expert, I think intercepted and defused a letter bomb at the US embassy in Madrid. Can you imagine if they did not train their staff, they were not prepared enough what to do, what to deal with letter bombs and things like that, that day would be a big disasters for Spain and for the whole world. All right. So yeah lah. So this is what I mean by 正卦 lah. 正卦 means you got to be fully prepared lor, especially your contingency plan, your crisis, your what do you call that? All your exercises that you need to do, you need to prepare. Of course, this is on big scale, but on a personal scale, you know, what does it mean to us? Right? So I leave it to you to think about it. Huh? Mary said China and Asia market rally as China announced changes to its COVID restriction. Oh yeah, market actually rally a bit. Huh? Now, that's how we talk about the wild ducks jumping into the rice paddy. Does it look like wild ducks to you, this article? 15 containers fall into the sea at Keppel Terminal due to strong wind. For no reason, this can happen. Very rare, but it happened. Like wild ducks jumping into the rice paddy. You call it coincidence? I don't know. Okay, I leave it to you. Huh? All right. So it's very interesting to follow the energies like this. Okay, next. 水卦. Okay, 水卦 on the 3rd December. Here it says there is a change of officials. Wow. For so many days, there's no mention about change of official. Then suddenly come one day on the 3rd December, say there is a change of officials. Correct and auspicious. Seems good. Okay, seems good. Huh? So let's see that day what happened. Huh? All right, so on the 3rd December, new Malaysian cabinet led by Anwar Ibrahim sworn in at the National Palace. Finally, if you have followed the GE15, is it 15? G15 of Malaysia, you should have known it's almost like a big drama like that. Huh? Want to form government, cannot form. Okay, so finally on 3rd December. And I think if Anwar have read this, I think maybe he has read this about this energy of the day, that it is a good day to form a government. There's a change of officials, correct and auspicious. Yeah. Okay. Wu Now, when it comes to Wu Wang Gua, I think everybody know lah. It is like bo tai bo ji, something will sure happen one lah. Oh, so it's a matter of preparedness lah. Okay. So what happened that day? Indonesia evacuate nearly 2,000 villagers after Mount Semeru volcano erupts on Java Island. Bo tai bo ji, you know. And then next, landslide buries bus in Colombia, killing at least 34. Bo tai bo ji. Okay. So that is it for the 10 days. So if let's say we're going to mark our forecast, all right, mark our forecast, take our forecast whether which one come true, which one not come true. Remember I said that the east-west tension is there, so take the crowd danger there. Take flood didn't really no really incidents of flood so cross didn't happen. Space activity, yes. Take financial turmoil, not the conventional financial market, but the cryptocurrency market. So tick. And then the stepping down, tick. All right. So that means what we are seeing, how we interpret the energy seems to be on the right path. Okay. So with that, we are done with the 10 days. Are y'all still good with me? Type a yes in the chat box if you're still good with me. And I'm not going too fast. That my pace is okay. Okay, thank you, Kun Yong. Thank you, Paul. Okay, so with this, let's flashback on the next 60 days. Okay, 60 days. Right? So 60 days is the 季季至家人季季至家人. Now, next first thing is 家人. The verse say 丽女真. 丽女真 meaning it has something to do with female, femininity. Right? So that's one thing. Next, 家人. Okay, I've observed through historical data again, is that 烽火家人 has this symbolism of explosion. Okay, 烽火家人 right? This is like the Li Gua is like a fire, big fire, and then the Xun Gua is like the fire smoke, the fire smoke. So it has this image of a big explosion. Next, on the verse here, the fox get his head wet. So again, there's a mention of being head wet. Wet means it could be water again, right? Water. So that means these 60 days we can see explosion. We can see wet weather because the head get wet. And then why not the body get wet? Why not the leg get wet? Why must be the head get wet? It could mean someone struggling, right? So let's say for example, don't struggle for air means struggling for air. Could be drowning, could be buried, no, struggling for air. Okay, so it could be wet weather, it could be struggling for air. So I use this pictorial here lah. A hand come out like save me like that. Next, 教室110 says two tiger face off. Alamak, east-west tension again. Okay, so it ties back to the explosion. All right, so when there's east-west tension, meaning if someone asks you about Russia and Ukraine, will it end anytime soon? If you see this kind of 60-day energy, I think you know the answer lah. It is pretty unlikely that it will end anytime soon in 2022. Okay. So if I were to, do a pictorial for the 60-day forecast, right? Then I think I mentioned about explosion and the face off. Face off means the east-west face off, the two tiger face off. I think these two are pretty related to each other. And then we have flood. And because it's the end part of the year, so therefore, if it's something to do with water, for those countries with winter, then it could be a snowstorm. So for those countries without winter, it could be heavy rain, heavy flood. And then last but not least, struggling for air. Okay. So what goes into the 10-day, 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 that one later on. But at least now we are clear on the 60-day grandparent energy. So let's flashback and see 60-day, we talk about the east-west tension and the explosion. You see, every other day, you see the Russia, Ukraine, Russia, Ukraine, Russia, Ukraine, until I need to show you not only one page, but 2 page, okay, and then 3 page, right? 3 page of the two tiger face off. So therefore, if anybody asks you about Russia-Ukraine war, you know it's going to continue, okay? It's not going to end in 2022. This is a flashback lah. Okay, so let's move on to talk about the water thing. Okay, water thingy, or in some countries with winter, a strong winter. Okay, a very freezing winter, right? I remember reading an article in 2022, mid of 2022. There was a prediction done for winter 2022. They were saying that it will be a very warm winter. I don't know how many of you come across that kind of articles. They predicted that December was a very warm winter. Now, I think I shared with some of you offline. Based on what I'm reading, actually, it should be a very, very extremely cold winter. So let's see how it goes. But I think now we already see what it is already. So look at this. Every other day during this 60 day, we can see a lot of articles about more thundery showers, heavy rain, trigger flash flood, wet and cold weather, in the second half, then Malaysia flood, then airlines scrap 3,800 US flight because of winter storm. Then Selangor, Sarawak hit by flood, a lot of evacuees and things like that. Although it's not enough, I have to go on to second page. Okay, epic winter storm in US, heavy snow in Japan, US deep freeze, Philippine flood, savage US blizzard, leaving 31 dead, heavy snow in Japan again, 17 dead, 1,000 injured. And although it's not enough again, I'm showing you a third page. New storm hitting California, continuous rain in several Malaysian states, heavy rain in Johor, South Korea, Japan grapple with heavy snow, chaos, and Auckland, latest one. Auckland starts clean up after torrential rains, flash flood. Now you see that when I say natural events, when the energy comes, it really have to come. Bopian. Okay, bopian. Okay. Next, talking about the struggling for air one. Okay, struggling for air. You can call it coincidence or not coincidence. I leave it to you. It's like, for example, the landslide at Genting Island, that side, around 100 people, trapped there on 16 December. Okay. And then same day, 16 December, also, the struggling for air not only happened to human, it also happened to fishes. 1,500 fish die as huge Berlin aquarium burst. No water, therefore struggling for air. Poor thing, the reverse of human. Okay, next. 18 December, 2-year-old girl, first fatality in Terengganu floods, struggling for air. And then next, 18 December also, 6 dead as Thai Navy continues search for missing sailors. And then 29 December, 5 dead, 37 injured in South Korea, road tunnel fires, struggling for air because of the smoke. Okay, and then very unfortunate, 2nd January, Vietnam rescuer better to save boy from being trapped in the I think 3-meter hole. Okay, but the boy didn't make it, unfortunately. Okay, some more. Pretty recent, 23rd January, Chinese New Year, 2 right? Okay, man and 2-year-old daughter fall into the hole in bridge at Sungai Buloh Wetland Reserve. They almost drown. Okay, if you have read follow-up articles, the father said that he couldn't reach the ground, he couldn't feel the ground once he been trapped. Okay, and then he has to hold on to his daughter tightly, scared that they get separated by the wave. Okay, last but not least, 24th, few days, 8 missing after ship sinks between Japan and South Korea. So those missing struggling for air. Okay, so like that. This is the energy. So let's move in. Okay, so if we're going to tick whether they come true or not, tick, 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 tick. Okay, tick, 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 tick. Let's move in. Okay, let's move in. Talk about the first 10 days. The Jiangguang. Okay, the Jiangguang, it says here, send out the matchmaker, 2 clans join in love. Send out matchmaker. Could it be peace talk? Remember in last workshop, we talked about, this could be a good 10 days to talk about peace talk, to talk about, putting down the arms and then go back to discussion table. So there is a window for such energy to take place. So it is up to the parties involved to really want to sit down to talk. And if they want to talk, this will be the good 10 days. Right? So I put there. So there's only one major thing that I can see in that 10 days. That is to join in love. Join in love means really come together, say, hey, I partner you, you partner me, or we collaborate together, to achieve certain things and things like that. So when I look at the energy, when I look at this, and then a few days before the 5th December, this starts on the 5th December. So few days before the 5th December, I saw one article. This was when? This was on the 2nd December. The article say Biden is open to talk with Putin if he's serious about ending the war. Now, as I was screenshotting this article, by right, the black patch here, there is a picture one. There's a picture one. So when I screenshot, somehow when I cut and paste, it become black like that. No matter how many times I do, it's still black like that. So isn't that a symbolism? I did that on the 2nd December. The day when I saw this article, I said I want to cut down. Okay, cut out and then put it inside the slide so that we can discuss about this. So isn't this a symbolism? To say that it's going to be a blackout. So this open to talk 是白讲而已，白讲而已 talk only Okay, and then indeed it was true because in the I think on the same day, Putin replied say turn down Biden's talk, and then on the other side, Ukraine, Zelensky sent strong signal to Moscow about American support and save, and went to U.S. Congress there, to present them with this. I don't know what you call that. I don't know. Okay, so it seems like although there's a window, nobody is leveraging on that window for the US, NATO, Ukraine, and Russia. Unfortunately. Okay, unfortunately. But on the other part of the world, perhaps they have studied Huang Ji Jing Si. They understood the importance of these 10 days. Let's take a look. These 10 days, you see China straight away fly off You know, Xi Jinping seldom leave the country because of COVID. But during this 10 day, flew off to Saudi and meet the Saudi crown prince on high stake visit. Right? If you have read the article, I think there was an article mentioning when Biden visited them, the welcome Rara show was very played down. In fact, no welcome show at all. But when Xi Jinping visited them, wow, the welcome was very rara. Okay, big contrast. Right? So Xi Jinping know this 10 day, the importance of this 10 day. So went over. Not only that, our PM also know. Okay, go to Timor-Leste Asian, reaffirm Singapore in principle support for Timor-Leste ASEAN membership. Or quickly go and 同人 Okay, and then EU also know. Alamak, why US never know, why Russia never know. EU also know, want to reconnect with Southeast Asia amidst Ukraine war. So some know, some didn't know, but they know the importance of these 10 days. I think so. Okay. Right. So you can see the overarching energies when it comes, I think it has a stronger influence on the world event and the events around us. Okay. Now, next. Look at this. I saw this article on 5th December. Right? Malaysian minister to take 20% cut. PM Anwar after chairing the first cabinet meeting. So after the first cabinet meeting, they announced all the ministers to take 20% pay cut. I was thinking why. And therefore, to get some answers, I look at the 5th December. 5th December energy. Okay, 5th December energy. And it says here, look at this one. Let me clean off the ink first. Look at this one. The roots are not established. Leaves and blossoms fall away. Nothing but the trunk standing alone. Does it rhyme with this announcement? Does this verse rhymes with this announcement and is telling us why they need to take the 20% pay cut? Right? Because the roots are not established. It means to say that the national coffer, okay, is almost empty because there's nothing there. It's except left the trunk standing alone. So therefore, got to have a what do you call that? Cost-cutting measures. Okay, next. And then on this 8th December, 同人 Day. Okay, 同人 Day, there is a verse says here, it may find a perch, no blame. It may find a perch. A perch means like a branches like that. So that means therefore someone may be looking for somewhere to latch on, to leverage on, something like that. And that day is a 同人卦. So the overarching energy of these 10 days is talking about joy in love. Okay, joy in love. So the best day to do that is on this day, 同人. Okay, because you also say to find a platform to stand on, to collaborate and to leverage. Right? So it's no brainer why China's Xi Jinping flew over on the 8th, okay, and visited Saudi Arabia. Different energy from the day, from that day Biden visited them. Very different energy. And then on the 8th also, I've shown you this one. Singapore affirms Timor-Leste in principle ASEAN membership. Okay, also on the same day, 8 December, 同人卦, based on the 教士一灵, there's something called here, the frogs crowd together, they're croaking, send heavenward to ask for rain. The thunder crowd gather, and straight away the falling rain grants their wish. Whoa, so it seems like a group of people gather together to ask for something. And then finally, their wishes got granted. Okay, what, like join in love? That means it's like a protest, and then you protest against something, and then suddenly whatever you're protesting or your wish come true. So on that day, what happened? I think Mary just now mentioned about the COVID, China lifting up the COVID restriction, right? If you're gonna ask when it's going to likely happen, it probably will be happening on the 8th December because of that energy. right? About the frogs crowd together and then falling rain grant their wish. In fact, yes, it's true. Suddenly, overnight, China lift up their restriction on 8 December. China's capital adjusts to life with COVID-19 after policy reversal. And then Hong Kong government also eases COVID-19 quarantine and testing regime after Beijing move. Okay. Right. Next. This is a different day. This is 11 December. 11 December. Greek MEP it's like a member of parliament like that. Greek MEP and ex-TV host Eva Kaili accused of taking bribes from Qatar. So so if you look at that day, what happened is a 结卦. A 结卦 is actually telling us to know your limit. Okay, to know your limit and don't go beyond. And then, if you look at the phrase here, is comfortably limited. Don't take bribes. You should know when to stop, right? So sweet limits, know your own sweet limits. Going forward will bring esteem. If you stick within your limits, you'll be there. But if not, then you will be taken offline. Okay, and indeed it was true. She was taken offline. Right, so this is also the 结卦 on the same day, but showing the 教师一灵 verse. Right, is asking to control feelings and curbing appetites. So for her case, it's appetites for money. Next, 结. I also seen this energy, this 水泽节, because this is small water, this is big water. When these two water come together, all right, especially when the grandparent is a 鸡鸡卦. Now, 鸡鸡卦I mentioned is a tug of war between water and fire. So therefore, anytime one party might win, might have a slightly upper hand, and therefore cause a big natural kind of event like either a fire or a big flood. So on a 结卦 like this, where there are small water and big water appearing, therefore that day could be a day full of water. That is on the 11th December. And indeed, it was true on the 11th December. It was reported heavy rain, trigger flash flood alert, large tree topples in Tampines. Okay, so that sums up the 10 days. So if we were to do a check, check back, we can say that, in that 10 days, indeed, there were many events of joining in love for those who know how to use those energies. Okay. Next, the next 10 days, which is the 小序卦. The next 10 days is 小序卦. Okay, so remember on the left side is the parent energy. On the right side is the day energy. Okay, wrong. On the right side is the 10-day energy. Yeah. So on the right side, the 小序卦, it says here eclipsed by the moon. Round is the sun, eclipsed by the moon. Okay, which is above, damage that which is below. So we can't really make up something, but what we can make out is that the sun basically means the yang, the moon basically means the yin. Now, if we relate to human life, the sun could means the leader, the moon could means all the citizen, or in terms of organization, the sun refers to the bosses, the moon refers to the staff, the employees, and then it's eclipsed by the moon. Okay, so meaning 造反啊. Could it be 造反, or could it be protest, or could it be strikes? Things like that, because it's eclipsed by the moon. That means the citizen or the employee, getting together to shadow over the sun, right? And then there's cause damage. Let's take a look for these 10 days whether there's any of these sort like strikes, protests, and things like that. I mean, more acute kind of strikes and protests. Of course, Singapore, you can rarely see strikes. So probably you have to look out somewhere. Okay, look out somewhere outside. And within the 10 days, indeed, I think UK, we see a lot of strikes within the 10 days, especially the nurses. right? So striking UK nurses say walk out over pay as a last resort. It happened on the 15th December. So let's drill into the day by day. Why it happened? Because it says here the farmer cannot support themselves. Farmers cannot support themselves, meaning the employee, the pay that they receive can't support themselves. So therefore they have to strike. Okay. So when they strike, it's on this day, 15 December. And then next. Now, when we see something like the card separates from its wheel, that is something that we need to take care of, especially when you are in a transport mode, when you are traveling, or something that can be dislodged. Okay, something that can be dislodged. The card separates from its wheel. Okay, so let's see what happened on that day, which is the 16th December. Genting Highland. So it's not the wheel dislodged, it's actually the earth, the land dislodged by itself and cause a landslide. Okay, cause a landslide. Not only that, on the same day, Berlin Aquarium burst and 1,000 fish, died or struggling for air. Okay, next, also on the same day, Jiao Si Yiling says, 5 big birds, each big with its own call, foreign country, alien custom, tongues and mind confused. That is what sort is not obtained, blah, blah, blah. But at least we know there is a bird that consists of 5 bigs, and each big, okay, has its own foreign, alien custom, tongues and mind, and then form into one bird. Okay, form into one bird. So let's see what happened that day. That day, 16 December, okay, so Malaysia political coalition signed agreement backing PM Answar unity government. Isn't it one bird, but formed by a lot of parties? Okay, formed by a lot of parties. Imagine Singapore if it's PAP plus WP plus don't know what other P to form one unity government. So this what happened in Malaysia. So one bird, 5 bigs. Each one has its own custom. Each one has its own mind and tongues. Okay, but finally, at least they form a unity government. Otherwise, cannot move. Then on 17 is a Thai day. By right, a Thai day should be a very good day. Okay, but then you look at the Jiao Si Yiling, it says the door of the prison open. Okay, the door of prison open, the shackles and came fall away. Meaning when the door of prison open, the prisoner will run like anything one. Or people inside that cage will run out like anything. So on the 17th December, what we saw, like for example, A-League Melbourne Derby abandoned after chaotic pitch invasion. So it's like a hell break loose like that lah. Or hell break loose. And then Machu Picchu, okay, unforgettable Peru holiday for tourists. Also, they were trapped there. Okay, they were trapped there. But on that day, somehow they were released. Okay, they were released and evacuated. Lucky. Okay, because of the day energy. Because the hell prison, the gate was open. And therefore they are able to run out. On the 19th December, Xu Guo, nothing much to say. Probably say about rain has come and things like that. So really nothing much to say. Okay. So on that day, let's see what happened. Now the rain has come can also means an air raid, right? Air raid, right? Because remember the overarching energy is explosion and things like that. So it could be an air raid, like rain like that, raining on you, huh? So on that day, 19 December, drones attack Kiev as Ukraine struggles to restore power on that day. Okay, take a look at this. 19 December also. There was something saying about this government can survive, talking about the unity government, Malaysia. But if you're hoping for something very idealistic, like hoping for a big reform worth and anything, then I'm quite pessimistic on that, says an analyst about Answar government. I was intrigued by this statement. So I look at the day energy. Okay. And the day energy, Jiao Si Yiling says, Alama, what do you expect? It's an old house. settle, complete, nothing to spend, no need renovation. Okay, as not as good as a new house, but it can become a happy family for now. Isn't it very rhyme? Isn't it very rhyme? So sometimes when you see certain articles like that, now you can always read back the energy and look at the underlying energies and say, hey, yeah, it makes sense. So can do lah, as long as this unity government just cruise through for now, can do it. Got unity government better than nothing at all. Okay. On the 22nd, Tayo. So this is something like a travel advisory. The traveler's departure is hurried, but the journey is over quickly. Jialat leh. You go travel, but the journey is over quickly. Means you didn't even get to leave lah, or didn't even get to depart lah. Is that what it means here? So let's see on the Tayo day, on the 22nd December, what happened. Airlines scrap 3,800 US flight because of winter storm. Straight away, the journey is over. Didn't even get to depart. Right? So I'm running pretty fast here because we're just flashing back. Okay, what I want to pay more attention is the forecast for the next 2 months. Yeah. Okay, on the 23rd December, rain has come again. Rain has come again. So therefore, you can expect either a bombing again or really a rain, or meaning heavy rain, heavy flood, and things like that. So indeed, it was true. 23rd, flood. I think I've shown you just now on the overarching energy one. And then on the 23rd again, in other parts of the country, US, winter storm, epic some more, put epic. Every year we have winter. But do you realize this year the coverage on winter was more than other years? Right? So if we check back on the past 10 days, for the past 10 days, did we see it coming? Yes, we see it coming. So we put a tick there. The next 10 days, okay, the next 10 days, it says here on the right side, 焰火分处. 焰火分处 means fire everywhere. Not only small fire, but big fire. 焰火, because this yen is 2 fires. Okay, so and then there's another thing called the heavenly horse, a lingering configuration. A lingering configuration can mean this 焰火分处. A flying horse meaning something in the sky. Could it mean aeroplane? Could it mean a warplane, fighter jet, and things like that? So it is coming very frequently, 5 pathway. Right? So we can expect the next 10 days, we can see even more air raid, right? And things like that. And then we can also see, within these 10 days, see more air raids and big fire incidences. Right? So indeed, I've dig out articles and find that these 10 days, indeed, almost every other day of the 10 days, right? For example, Taiwan suddenly reports China's largest incursion yet to air defense zone, right? Not only Russia got this air raid, now China, Taiwan. Okay, then South Korea and North Korea, right? And then usual one, blast at the US base, this one usual. Okay, and then blast at US base, usual. Again, Russia, usual. The Russia, again, usual. They use air drone. Okay. Some more. Like I say, every other day. So Russia, Ukraine, normal already. But we can expect this 10 days, we can see more intensified air raids and bombing. Okay. And then how about big fire? Okay, big fire. On these 10 days, almost every other day also got big fires. And strangely, I don't know why it happened. Previously not much reporting about big fires, but now have these 10 days. For example, 28 December, hotel casino at Cambodia, 19 killed. And then on 29 December also, South Korea road tunnel fire, right? And then on 29 December also, wow, 28, 29, 29, this Cambodia casino is the second time, I think. It's the second time, right? And then 30 December, local news, Tuas fire. Okay, Tuas fire. And then 1st January, this Jackal garment in Malaysia caught fire, first time also. Then 3rd January, second fire to jackal garment also in Malaysia, right? So you can see more fire incidents during these 10 days because of the energy. So let's take a look at the day by day for the 10 days. On the 25th December, it says here the Oreo trapped by ice. By ice, you never say any other thing, but by ice. So we know that since there were reports of snow and cold winter and things like that, so this day could be a very icy day, right? And people get trapped, right? So indeed, on this day, you can see here 31 dead, because of this blizzard. Not only that, there were also other incidents. Where was this? This is in Japan. Heavy snow in Japan. This 17 dead, dozens injured. That day, this is the day. Trapped by the ice. Next, on the 28th December, you see here, heaven and earth are closed and blocked. Walamak. If it's 天地 主塞 jialat nothing move the merchants cannot travel. Then you know already, if you are somewhere outside there and you need to travel, then this is a day you should avoid traveling, because this might show up in front of you. That means something happened, get blocked, get choked, and you cannot travel. Let's see what happened that day. Anything happened? Yes, in China, Chengdu, Zhengzhou, not Chengdu, Zhengzhou, 200 vehicle, wow, no joke, 200 vehicle power up, choke, heaven and earth choke. Okay. Next, same day again, travel misery grinds on as US digs out from superstorm, choke, airport. This time around is airport choke. Next, at Buffalo, I don't know where's Buffalo, US, I think, New York. Okay, and look at the car, all the vehicles or all the houses there, can't move, totally can't move. Okay, on that day also, there's this fire, Cambodia hotel casino on fire, right? Okay, next, Kun. This is a third. This energy happened on the 2nd and 3rd January. So this is a Kun energy. Kun energy means trap energy. Trap, right? Trap, and then blocked by stone. Wow, really trapped, blocked by stone. And then nose and feet cut off, blocked by the red hash. Trap. To steal is to bring on your own destruction. So therefore, on that day, things that's not yours, don't go and take. Basically, this is what it means. Am I correct to say that? Can we interpret this way? On that day, on this special day, things that are not yours, don't go and take, because you get trapped. Right? So on that day, what happened? Very unfortunate. A boy in Vietnam, I think they were there trying to pick up certain things. I don't know what they're trying to pick up. So things that's not theirs. But this he was trying to go and collect. And then unfortunately fall into a 35-meter hole. 35-meter. Okay. How many story was 35-meter? Okay. And then trapped there. Okay. Trapped there. And then for a few days. And then the rescuer couldn't really rescue him. So unfortunately, he didn't make it out. Okay, so this is a Kun energy. So and then Tong Ren Gua. Okay, this move on to the next 10 days already. Tong Ren Gua. The war drum sound. Alamak, what is new? You tell me what is new. The entire 2022 energy was always talking about explosion, talking about East-West tension, talking about war, tension, conflict. And then come this 10 day, the war drum sound. What is new? So we can say that the Russian and the Ukraine war, or the Russian versus the US and NATO, is going to continue. Okay? Because it's Tongren also, right? Because it's Tongren, so we can also see that 10 day that we can see some collaboration, or if it didn't manage well, there could be some splitting up, because Tongren can work both ways, either collaborate together or splitting up of a team, right? So let's take a look at the 10 days, what happened. Talking about the war drum, so it's nothing new lah. Yeah, Russia lah, Ukraine lah, this one nothing new. Okay, I'm going to skip this. Next, again China. China really know when to do what thing leh. All right, China, Philippines agree to handle dispute peacefully, boost cooperation. Interesting. Okay, but on the other side, Malaysia, Sabah state, the Tongren split. Okay, the Tongren split. Sabah state government collapses as Barisan Nasional withdraws support for Chief Minister. Alamak, this is the best day to collaborate, yet they split. Okay, so I don't know lah. Next, let's move on. Day by day. Jie means untangle. Oh, so if you want to split, this will be a good day to split lah. Okay, or this could be a day for resolving issues. Depending on how you use the day energy, right? 结 means 可以了结 or 解散. Okay, if you want to use this day as a 解散 means you disband. If you want to 解决, okay, resolve certain issue, this is a good day. So you see, two different countries will use this day to do different things. And who are these two countries? I think I've shared with you already. China used this to 解决问题, 解决 with Philippines, okay, to handle dispute peacefully, right? And then you put in the side, okay, ceasefire, 暂时解决问题, okay, ceasefire, all right? So Ukraine think that this putting Christmas ceasefire as a hypocrisy. What do you think? Look at this day energy, okay? When was this announced? This was announced on the 5th, okay? This was announced on the 5th here, all right? 5th here. And then the Sabah, the 解散 thing, okay, let me move on. 丝瓜. Here, chasing after a deer on foot, ending empty-handed. Okay, so therefore, chasing after deer on foot, ending up empty-handed means it could be someone pursuing something, but in the end, get nothing. Okay, get nothing. So if you tie this back to, for example, to the war drum sound, meaning if you want to relate this back to Russia, Ukraine, it could mean that maybe either Russia go and attack Ukraine, but then gain nothing, or Ukraine go and fight back, but gain nothing. It could work either way. So on that day of 8 January, let's see what happened. Russia, okay, Russia claimed revenge attack on Ukrainian soldier, but there is no sign of casualty. There's no sign of casualty. Means like what the verse say lah. You chase after the deer on the foot, but you ending up empty-handed, not even a single casualty. Okay. And then on the same day also, there was this Brazil deja vu of the Donald Trump protest on the Capitol Hill. I call it deja vu because almost like it. The protester, the supporter for the president who lost the election, they go and what do you call that? Protest all the way to the Parliament House, the Presidential Palace. It's a deja vu thing. Okay, 闲卦 on the 10th January. It says here, traveling on the late night, autumn night, how can they end up in disaster? Alamak, this is another thing to tell you, don't travel at night. Or don't travel when you can't see well, because at night means you can't see well, right? So if you can't see well, don't travel. I think this is a very good warning to all of us, right? So what happened on that day? This is 10th January. 10th January, Singapore woman and 4-month-old baby killed in car accident in Hokkaido on this day. Traveling. They can't see well. I think the husband explained they can't really see well, and before they know what happened, gone. Wife and baby gone. Okay. Next day, next day hexagram is 吕卦 11 11 January. It says here Phoenix to the left, Qiling to the right. Is Phoenix and Qiling means your general. I mean important animals or important people, important position, important appointment holders, one on your left, one on your right. So that means you have your left commander, you have a right commander, all in place. So that day would be a good day to appoint people, if I may put it this way, to appoint people. And so what happened? Sabah, I think they recover from that disbanding. Sabah Chief Minister Haji reshuffle cabinet, drops UMNO state chief. Bang Bota, and then call in few other people to form the lineup of the cabinet. So it's like the chilling on the left, the whoever on the right, things like that. Okay, and because of this is a Lü Gua traveling hexagram, so you find that a airline, hope to return something to do with the traveling part lah. Hope for return to normal after FAA outage. The FAA outage, I think the system outage that hinder the US travel. So it has to do something with traveling because of the Lü Gua. Furthermore, that's how we talk about the left commander, right commander. So you see, it also works for countries. Or UK, Japan also signed major defense deal allowing troop deployment. And then the US, Japan. So Japan actually got one side is UK, on the other side is US now. Unveil plan to strengthen the alliance. So left and right. Last of the 10 days, it says here, calling out to one another, the 9 branches of kinship are in harmony. Wow, this could be a good day. Although it's a Jian day, right? Jian day means obstacle day, limping day. But, you have to do to overcome this is to call out to one another, okay? One by one call out and then work together. Abang adik like that. Okay, so 9 branches of kinship are in harmony. So what happened that day? No, their own internal house affair. Okay, actually by right there was some rumors to say that the members want to kick out the the Secretary General, is it? And then but somehow because of this internal affair, Ahmad Zaid passes contentious no contest motion on his presidency. That means all agree no contest motion. So it's like calling out to each other, say, hey, you don't vote me out, you still vote me in, okay, something like that. So it works. Or otherwise, you'll be limping already for this Ahmad Zaid. Okay, so if we were to check back on the past 10 days, what happened, what not happened, I think we saw it coming lah. Tick tick lah. Okay, the next 10 day, 闭卦. The core is empty. The dragon we know always refer to the number 1 man, for example. Okay, and here it says drawing the dragon's head and neck, but the figure is missing. That means the number 1 man is missing. Okay, and the core is empty. Somehow, once number 1 man is missing, that means the organization will be left empty. For example, put it this way. Okay, so 闭卦山火闭. Okay, so this could also means fire incidences again. So therefore, I would say something like fire incidences, and then king and family means the number 1 man gone missing. And because of that, no substance, I mean the organization was left empty because number 1 man gone missing. Okay, so let's see what happened for the 10 days. Fire, fire, fire. Okay, all are one in Singapore, one in Gandam district, Korea, another one in Thai. And then the number 1 man gone, left the empty government. Okay, Vietnam, president resignation. And then 1 day later, New Zealand PM also resigned. Okay, and then Brazil sacked the army commander. All right, so there's a vacuum left. It means the core is empty lah. The vacuum is left here. So let's take a look on these 10 days. Each of the 10 days, not each, those noteworthy one. Okay, on the Geng Gua, which is 15 Jan, it says here, adorn the toes, abandon the carriage and walk. Don't take the carriage, better to walk. Right? So it says here, very clear. Right? So let's see what happened that day. Geng also telling you to stop, right? Geng Gua. Okay, Geng Gua telling you to stop. At least 68 killed in Nepal worst air crash in 30 years that day. Okay, ask you to abandon the carriage, you better walk. All right. 火地镜 on the 19th January, it says here, pulling the legs out of deep mud, better to stop and rest. That means if you're in the mud and you can't really tahan the mud anymore, it's better to pull out and then stop and then take a rest. So what happened that day? New Zealand PM decided to call it a day, or to call it quit. So it was a shock to the New Zealand and the whole world. Bi Gua on the 22nd Jan, bringing shame and humiliation upon oneself. That means for people like us, if they say we have shame and humiliation, it won't be reported, right? But if someone of a high status, high authority, high power, and then got humiliated or got shame, it will be reported. So on that day, any such cases have one, at least one. The Brazil army commander got sacked. Okay, got sacked. And it was reported. Bo Gua. Okay, Bo Gua, like I say, is always left with one battery. Okay, one battery. Therefore, one battery could means if something goes wrong, you need to preserve. You may need to resign, or you need to preserve this last bar lah. Ultimately, the main essence is this one. Okay, so what happened on that day is, wow, breakdown of power in Pakistan. Okay, breakdown power in Pakistan. So no more battery. I think there was also another case of fire on 23rd Jan in Thai, 11 burned to death in the bus. Fu Gua, Di Lei Fu. It could mean the earth is shaking. So that day could be an earthquake day. Yeah. So let us see whether there's any day. On that day, yes, indeed, there was an earthquake in Nepal, killing at least one, and then sent tremors as far as New Delhi. And at the same time, because of this earthquake, 3 dead, 1,000 trapped as building collapse in India. So if we were to look back at the 10 days and say, did we see that happen? I think most of the thing, it came through, especially the fire and the number one man that causing a vacuum in the organization, right? So the no substance thing is like the vacuum lah. So actually we can put a tick there also lah. Okay, the last 10 day. After that we go for a break, yeah. Okay, the last 10 day is Ji Ji Gua. Okay, Ji Ji Gua. Now it says here heaven and earth may spin. Okay, the heaven may spin and the earth may dance. Alamak, if the heaven spin and the earth dance, that means it's just like the effect will be just like the way I imagining it. It's like the two elephants fight each other. The end is going to suffer. So if the heaven going to spin and the earth is going to dance, I think we're going to suffer. Right? So that's one thing. Then Ji Ji Gua, it can also mean the water, the clashes again. It's a tug of war with between fire and water. So there is a clash. Okay, so a tension going on, explosion, right? And then wet weather. Okay, wet weather. So in short, the 10 days could be summarized as this one. Face off again, turbulent, these two hand in hand, wet weather, and then the crowd danger, if there is. Let's take a look. The 10 days. Now, the heaven spin, the earth dance. We already see signs coming to say that already. US, Germany decided to send heavy main tanks to Ukraine. Okay. Then Poland also want to send. Okay. So that means it's going to be a very big, huge show between Russia and Ukraine with US and NATO behind Ukraine. Next, the water thing. I think we can feel it because New Year period. Heavy rain, South Korea also, what else? Then we can expect cool weather. And then I think yesterday, Auckland starts to clean after torrential rain also. So we see that happening. Okay, now I find this day interesting. And I thought of sharing with you all I think this is something that we should take note of also. Now, on this day, 尊卦, it says here, the high ancestor attack the ghost region, right? So it means, again, nothing new. There's going to be a tension again between Russia and Ukraine. That's one thing. But here, when the constraints, a person without principles, when constraints are loosened, he bursts out. Last round, in the last workshop, there was also a period with this kind of phrase. I don't know how many of you can remember. And when this phrase comes out, it shows that there were several incidents of a madman. I call it madman. Okay, madman going out in the open and do mass shooting. I don't know how many of you can recall that when this phrase comes out. Or it's like a madman going out and then anyhow shoot. So I thought this day on the 26th Jan, there could be something like this. That means 2 days back, right? But it didn't happen. 26th didn't happen. Nothing, no news. But, okay, of course, this one is Russia. This one, I can skip it. But on the 27th, 1 day later, it happened. 7 killed in synagogue attack as West Bank violence spirals. That means a madman going out doing mass shooting. So I think I want to point this out because we are also learning together. Is there sometimes energy that could be some delay? I'm not too sure. Okay, but I think it's worth pointing out so that we can remind each other that energy sometimes could be delayed, could be early. But this is the case of delaying 1 day. Okay. Next. 27 Jan. Yeah, again, high ancestor attack ghost region. That one nothing lah. Usual thing lah, not say nothing. Usual thing. Wetting his head danger. Oh, the water comes in already. Okay, and then now wetting his head danger. That means struggling for air again. And then the fortress of metal with door of irons. Nothing much that I can find in the article. So doesn't mean it didn't happen, but I just couldn't find anything. 28 today. Okay, 28 today. Anything to talk about? It's a 正卦. Okay, it's a 正卦. Let's hope that there's no crisis, no disaster, and that if there is any, we are all prepared for it. Okay, all the police, civil defense, all are prepared for it. Let's cross our finger. Nothing happened today. Right? So we are now a little bit of projecting forward already. So 水卦 30th January. Ignore this one. The high ancestor attack the ghost region. We already know it's going to have war already. Philip said 2 Indian military jet crash. 1 pilot found. Was it today, Philip? Was it today? Interesting. Okay. 30th January, something to take note of. 31 minutes ago. Thank you, Philip. So as we are speaking, today, 28, something already happened. Alan said 25th USA mass shooting in Monterey Park, 11 June. Oh, so 1 day before also there was a mass shooting. Thank you, Alan, for all these things, right? Thank you for all these links. All right, so it helped me to consolidate enough data so that we can, like AI learning like that, become better and better at reading the energy. Thank you very much. Okay, 水卦 on the 30th January. It says here, the river and streams run east to the sea. I take all I own and I buy cup and brim. So meaning that could be, again, heavy flood, heavy whatever things. So if you have an appointment outside on that day to be on outside, better bring along your umbrella. Okay. That's 30th. 30th. And then 1st February. 1st February, maybe Russia is going to do some sacrifice again. The eastern neighbor slaughtered the ox, but this sacrifice is going to do nothing for them. And then next is the fish and turtle seeks the bait, dying in the nets and whatever single lines. Greed was their downfall. Remember this one, the Itaewon incident, the crowd danger. So 1st February, 明仪什么？明仪卦什么？1st February, do take note if there's any big crowd event, stay far and be observant and be on high alert. Observe danger, run away. Okay. So this is a crowd danger day. Okay, 1st Feb. Remember this. Let's hope nothing happen. Now a flashback of this is 季季明仪啊，季季 to 明仪 energy here, a flashback, okay, and it took place on this 5th October to 5th December, which is also a 季季 to 明仪. Russian order troop out of Ukrainian city of Kherson. Remember the sacrifice an ox? So this sacrifice means nothing at all, huh? Okay, so Philip say there's one news about North Korea slam US pledge tank Ukraine. This seems like giving offering but no benefits. Yeah, yeah, true. Okay, thanks, Philip. Okay, so and then furthermore on the 积极民意 flashback, a lot of water incident again. Okay, water incident. So this just flashback because we are looking at past data, so that we can make meaningful projection, right? Any more flashback? Have same thing. Water again. Okay, water again. Okay, here this is the cloud danger, the Itaewon and the India Bridge. If you can recall, it happened between 5th October to 5th December. 季季 to Mingyi energy also. But of course, that time, although it's 季季 to Mingyi, the grandparent energy is different from these 10 days. All right, so there could be a slight difference, but the danger, the risk could still be there. So just be mindful of cloud danger on the 1st February, right? 2nd February, same thing. There's something called wetting his head danger, meaning struggling for air. Okay, struggling for air. So be careful. So 1st February, 2nd February, be careful, struggling for air, and then cloud danger. Right? So that's all. That's all for the flashback. Any quick questions? Am I running too fast? Are you all still okay with me? Shall we go for a short break? If you have questions, feel free to type in the chat box as we go for a 10-minute break. Now, before we go, one announcement. If you would like this buy money workshop to continue, I'm prepared to put aside 1st April, 2 months later, 1st April, for the next buy money workshop. So 1st April is a April Fool Day, easy to remember. Right? So if you are keen to sign up, you can pay now 49 to my pay now account. Scan this QR code or to my handphone number. Is that okay? Right? So if you have questions, do type in the chat box. Otherwise, I'll start the timer now and I see you back in 10 minutes. See you.